Hello and welcome to Exploring Plate Tectonics. This module is taught along with Understanding Weather and Climate to make up one semester of 6th grade. While at first glance it may not seem that these two modules are directly related, it turns out they are through the concept of convection. This is something your students will discover as they work through the module, and although you don't want to tell them that up front, you do want to guide their learning through questioning and other activities to build toward understanding that big picture of how these processes work. As with all of our middle school modules, we begin with a set of working guidelines. In this module, we have an ongoing chart that we'll keep up with where students track what they learn about the processes that change Earth's structure. They record the actual changes and the time scale that these happen on and the space scale. So whether they're happening over an instant or millions of years, and whether they're happening on an observable scale or a microscopic scale or maybe a huge scale of several kilometers. And of course, collecting evidence. And this is something students will refer back to at the end of every lesson, and they'll update this chart. And this helps students make the big connections that drive, again, toward the course of study. Although we haven't rearranged lessons, we haven't removed lessons in this unit from the STC resources, we have added a lot of smaller bits. For instance, we've added information to connect students to learn what's going on in Alabama. And as with all of our units, we've added highlights of certain cross-cutting concepts and scientific and engineering practices. And again, those are not to be taught only in the lessons where they appear, but they're simply highlighted because they're a good fit. You want to bring in these cross-cutting concepts and scientific and engineering practices throughout all of your science teaching. At the end of every lesson, we have the standard that the lesson builds toward. And on that same slide, we have the 3 dimensions that are included in that standard. These may or may not correspond to the cross-cutting concept and scientific and engineering practice that was highlighted in the lesson. Don't let that throw you off. Again, there's not a lot of outside resources that we've had to bring in, although there are several videos that we've brought in and some activities that were not included in the STC materials. Lesson 10, we've had to bring in a completely new lesson activity that was not there. But mostly this lesson is this module is pretty straightforward, and we think that you'll enjoy it a lot and look forward to hearing what's going on in your classroom. Thanks for watching this introductory video to Exploring Plate Tectonics, and we'll let you get started.